jutsu when they hit, they produce that effect. So I think people will like that. So, and then it will also impose teamwork as well because then you have different people who have mastered a certain element. They can help the other person as well. So,
Yeah, and you know what? And going off on this, it would also provide us an opportunity. So we remove AE from being a general thing anybody can learn, right? And allow the bloodlines and core ability tables to now dictate who has specialties and specific AEs, as opposed to just having everybody have an overall general buff that covers everything. Let them control that. So it would actually
like
give
what?
specific bloodlines or core abilities more dominance over a specific advanced element. So that way, people,
So,
when they're fighting, have a better chance to. So they would be better in sync with someone else that adheres to something that will allow them to gain access to their empowered advanced element, whatever it might be.
so for instance, like Pyro, who's primarily a person who masters fire, would have a better ease in fusing, combining the techniques, or what?
Well, so for instance, the and this is just because this was an example stuck in my head because it's absolutely storming outside my window right now. As if you're a Santaru. Santaru
Okay.
predominantly lightning based, but
Yeah.
they would obviously have a subspecialty towards the storm advanced element. So that way they have lightning as their base, and then they need to find what is it, lightning and water? I think it is for storm. Correct
Yeah.
me if I'm wrong. I don't remember. Um, so that way they would be encouraged to find somebody who has a water element for their main. That way they are better in sync. So that way when they were to use their jutsu together to create a storm-based jutsu, the Santaru's table, which has specific buffs towards that, can now further bolster that strength. I don't know.
So are you just
There's a lot of interesting design facets behind something like this.
Now, while we're talking about jutsu, I actually had an idea that apparently a few other people have. I know K-Cat sent me something that Sunike made, which looks just like my idea.
Uh-huh.
Pretty
I
much.
stole it from you?
No, I don't think he's known for me. It's just a good idea, and I'm not surprised that he came up. I'm surprised no one came up with it before, honestly. Basically, instead of, okay, at A rank, you have or Soul Tempest, Abysmal Harbinger, these specific jutsu. All right, you can use A rank fire jutsu now. You go in, you know that at a normal A rank jutsu does X damage. You can add, say, +3 accuracy to it, and it'll drop the damage some. You can make it an AoE to drop the damage some, or you can actually, for every rank, you get a certain amount of upgrade points that you can attach effects to that jutsu. Like, let's say, +1 accuracy for 1 point. A rank, you get 4 points. You can make a very accurate jutsu, or you can make it AoE for 2 points, stuff like that.
So
Pretty much,
you
you
cut about
can make your own jutsu using these formulas.
So you pretty much level up the jutsu in your own way. So
Right, you make your own effects for it. Well, you don't make your own effects. You have a list of effects. And then we can still have just normal jutsu that you can use for certain effects that might not be allowed in that.
This was actually so for the record, Jake. This idea is not an original. This has actually been thought of before.
I didn't think it was. Like I said,
yeah.
No one did it before.
And I can't put a name to it, and it's not that it hasn't been done. It's just never been implemented. There's always been a hang up on it somewhere. But yeah, no, like a point-based system where basically it's like you're creating your custom class, except for jutsu or anything. Yeah. It could feasibly work. Like it could totally be a thing.
So if you're in the middle of a fight and it's going bad for you because you can't hit your opponent, you can start pumping accuracy into those attacks. Or if your opponent has no dodge and you're hitting everything, pump damage in instead. On the fly, you can change the jutsu that you're using.
I mean, on the fly. I thought you mean like once you get to jutsu, you master it or something. But
no, you would master the ability to use that element.
Yeah, based on your mastery
okay.
of
So once you master the element, you're
yeah.
able to change the accuracy during battle. Okay.
Yeah, because you are a master of fire, therefore you can manipulate fire jutsu because you're so good at it. But in doing so, we would also have to, actually limit people to having specific major affinities and such. For example, My character has access to every major affinity and owns probably 3/4 of the advanced elements because I have excessive amounts of advanced shot points that I don't use for anything. So I decided to buy some extra ones.
Give me some.
So I can quite literally master every jutsu type. So we'd have to actually put some limitations and actually have people stick to your character has a core of this. And this is what they do really well. Especially if we were going to do like attack combinations, I think that would actually play a really big part in that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure why someone thought it was a good idea to give everyone access to every single advanced element ever. Because, yeah.
I mean, it takes a little time to earn it in defense of it. I don't think
Not
it should.
necessarily.
I don't think it should have been
buy-
in the advanced shop. I don't think you should have had the option to buy more advanced AE slots. That was silly. You remove that and you fix the. I mean, and you fix that problem. There's still a larger overarching problem overall. But yeah. Oh, I don't know. We should just like write all these ideas down and just send them to dev. Get to work. Never mind, Jake.
I'm in dev.
Yeah, there you go. There you go, Jake. Write all these down.
Yeah.
Take them to dev.
I really do like the
I don't have
idea.
to write it down. I'm an admin. I can just do it.
Touche.
That's being it.
All right.
Yeah, that's what being an admin means, right?
Add it in the system. Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay. What about abilities though? Abilities are very dry as well. I mean,
Oh.
not necessarily. Right now, like if you get an ability, you have to RP to get the ability. Then to lose the ability, you just say I lost the ability or something. Like,
Well,
So-
so it is only 100 words, and for most people on NC, 100 words, you can do in your sleep.
Yeah, I can do 100 words.
is it? I thought it was 300. Oh yeah, I guess it's 100.
No,
I think it was 200.
100 to lose
Advanced
it,
advanced
100
elements are 300. Abilities are only 100.
Well,
Okay.
I mean, heck, advanced 300 I can do in 4 minutes.
Yeah. Well, and the reason why that I don't think the reason why they're not just completely free to drop and pick up is that so people
Have
can't just
some effort.
make things on the fly. All of a sudden, they're fighting someone different, and they can
You
change
gotta
their
have
build
some
last second.
effort.
Yeah. So you have
Yeah.
100 words
You
because
get-
that takes you a little bit of time to do.
Yeah, but abilities is just basically like
hang on.
okay.
Ninjutsu has at no point ever gotten shafted.
Ninjutsu's always been the strongest form on NC. I
Yeah,
think actually,
right.
I take it back. There was a very brief window, a very tiny window where Taijutsu was dominant for a bit, and then it stopped.
Yeah, that was
Very
like the
quickly.
tail end of
There is a
5.
time when Taijutsu never required chakra, so you can basically keep using the same ability like over and over again.
Kahako, the reason it would be bad to remove abilities, honestly, it's just another level of customization for your character, and I am a big fan of letting people customize their characters like that, as long as we don't let things go overboard. I think right now we have a very good balance of customization. You can customize your class. You can't customize your bloodline because, you can pick one, but it's going to have these abilities.
But why can't we make it an MMO? I want 3 trees. I want to be able to pick what I build.
I mean,
Because
every
if you
blood
want
should
to
have
go ahead and
certain
do that for
evolution.
free, but Dev has taken a few months to redo the CAs alone.
Dude, I would
3 trees on each BL
I
would
would
take
sit
us
down
over a year.
and if I could get the go ahead to actually do a 3-tree bloodline, 3-tier
But
bloodline
that's the
system,
thing,
I would
you
sit down
can
and do that.
it, but it's got to be approved.
Oh, I would sit down and do that so
The end
bad.
result has to be approval.
Well, yeah,
You can't just
of course.
make it, because I promise you, if you make it, I don't care how good you are at dev work. If you make over 100 things, stuff's going to be broken.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's why before you sit down and start developing things, you have to set rules and guidelines. So that way, when things conflict, you have something to go back on, and then you can stop it from conflicting. It's actually something that is the reason why NC turned into what it was, is because we had so many different groups of people working on the battle system, and rules changed between groups,
All of them
and
make stuff
things sort of
separately,
stacked,
and
and
just-
things conflicted, and people
I
didn't
like
track.
to tell people our battle system is a giant tower sitting on top of a foundation of sand, and it's all held together with duct tape and bubble gum and the hopes and dreams of 4 children across the world.
I'm pretty sure there's a Jenga reference somewhere in here for this.
Jenga reference. Yeah.
No, on the very top of it, there is a Jenga tower, and it's only got 4 blocks left, and I don't know how the heck it's staying up.
Well, I believe it. But yeah, I don't know.
Ashley, we are getting rid of water at depth. We determined that it cannot be balanced properly.
Oh, You can't even say that with a straight face, because we've all seen the water adept table.
I know,
It's
I'm
not
grinning.
even that good.
I'm grinning.
Please.
I just broke her heart for 5 seconds, though.
Yeah. However, I want to address abilities just briefly again. And while I agree with Jake that customization I feel is really important, honestly, it's the one thing I look at almost any RPG I play ever is how far can I customize my character. That's really important to me.
Yeah, I love letting people customize their character. It's just awesome.
Well, yeah, and the more you get to do, the more personal and attached you feel to that character.
It becomes your character, not just a blank sheet on the game.
But then there's NC, where your 12 ability slots, or however many ability slots you have, because I think I have 12 at least.
I think the max you can get is 15.
As a quick learner,
yeah, might be 14.
I think
no,
I think 16.
15 if you
16
take a Kenjutsu.
16 if you
no, quick learner gets 2. You get 11 normally. Quick learner gets 2.
13.
You can buy one for the
14.
Yeah, you can buy one from the advanced shop, and you can get one from your class, I think.
You get 2 free. You get 2. You get. Oh, no, never mind. Right. They abolished 1. Okay, 15. You're right. Okay. Yeah, I forgot about that. All right. Okay. You're right. 15. But, okay, so regardless. So, let's use the extreme example.
But again, you got to take
abilities.
what has long been considered one of the weakest core abilities on the site.
Touche.
Even though Quick Learner is actually very good if you know how to use it.
15 ability slots. And despite the fact that you fill all of them up, and you have all these abilities, your character isn't that unique. The abilities now, in terms of what they do and how you utilize them, are not that interesting. As a matter of fact, I could probably go through the list.
Went through all the abilities and redid them to take out a lot of the more unique effects.
Okay, so because my Bloodline core ability idea is a bit far-fetched, and this was also mentioned. Credit goes to Mikaboshi for the original concept for this, and something I would like to see. And there's a game that I can reference to it. I just can't remember it off the top of my head. Is that you basically pick a low tier skill ability, and as your character gains power, so your power level, let's do 600 increments or something. I don't equal numbers. Math is hard. And as you grow, just go from ranks, right? From E rank to D rank to C rank to B rank to A rank to S rank, that the ability changes and you gain additional bonuses with each subsequent rank up. So that ability becomes better. Which means...
As you get stronger? Or as you level up.
And remember, being stronger is subjective, right? I don't even know if I'm using that right. Regardless, it may not necessarily make you stronger, but it makes whatever you choose to do with your character better at it. And again, that provides intrinsic value. You feel rewarded because you intelligently pick something that you know will eventually evolve to benefit your character in the long run. And when you get to that point where you're at your strongest and you get that evolution because your character has been practicing it for so long, you get to look at it and you're like, damn, that is cool.
So instead of there's a penalty for removing the ability, because once you remove that ability, you have to wait that time period again to get that level. So I guess after, if you use the ability for X amount of time, it'll evolve to this, right?
Right.
Okay.
Oh, and again, I think some things could have a little bit of room for customization, except if we were to do something like I said, a tier growth ability, we would have to probably cut the ability slots in half easily, because everything were to grow and you have 15 ability slots. Again, in the extreme case, obviously you're going to get a lot of bonuses. So we'd have to cut down the amount of slots, and that way, and we would actually have to make a list of abilities and go through all of them and make sure that they're all rewarding for someone's potential build style, for how someone wants to play. So that way there isn't the obvious favorite, these 6 abilities are the best, everybody should run these, with the subtle changes for taijutsu user, genjutsu user, certain kenjutsu combination, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody should be able to pick, out of, and again, random numbers, a list of 100 abilities. You only can pick 6. But all 100 of those abilities should be appealing to anyone else, depending upon how they want to play their character. And what their bloodline core ability is, or what their kenjutsu is, or their fighting style, etc., right? with maybe allowing, again, point system, because the point system is actually very, very powerful, and again, surprisingly underused on NC, with the exception of the class system, is that give like 2 bonus points at the end of every evolution to allow people to pick a specific bonus that gives them something a little bit unique to their specific character's growth. So that way, everybody isn't necessarily the same, and they
Are we
can
still
have
talking
their
about
own
abilities here?
Yeah, totally talking about abilities. Again,
Okay,
maybe you're
so-
going too far, maybe not, but it's the fact that, customization, narrow things down, but make things really interesting and, like I said, valuable. You start with this, you have to grow with it, and once you've grown with it, you get the full benefits of it. And more importantly, you can intertwine this to everything else. So an ability could make you better at using specific type of jutsu. It could make you more durable. I mean, if we can simplify a lot of versions on NC, it allows us to bring back some old ones that I know people would like to see, like equipment. And I don't mean like kunai and belt pouches, which are all a lie. I mean like armor. I miss armor. Our old armor system was terrible, and the armor didn't benefit anybody from anything, because none of it did much of anything other than add like 300 HP, which
Armor
is
system.
No. The
terrible.
best armor in the game, the very best armor in the game, I kid you not, gave you 600 hit points. The best boots in the game arguably gave you plus 30 kicking damage, but the second best gave you 1 agility.
kicking damage.
That was what armor used to do.
Dude, Ambu armor, that's what it was that gave you the agility. Oh no, my call died. Hang on.
What should armor do?
Okay, we're good.
Armor should give you an extra level of
Damage soak.
damage reduction.
Not necessarily, because I mean, then you can look at it in terms of, let's go classical RPG here. Warrior, rogue, mage. And then based off of the armors of what they do. Warrior class armors, HP, damage reduction. Rogue helps you evade, maybe gives you stealth bonuses, crit chance bonuses. Mages doesn't hinder your ability to use, casting jutsu.
I didn't see that.
I know. I
would like to see armor do, honestly, the best armor system I have ever seen in a game. Each piece of armor added to your hit points. You're like, say you have 50,000 base hit points,
right?
And you have some heavy duty armor, that might add another 15,000. You would have this total armor total HP of 65,000, of which the first 15,000 damage you took was damage to your armor. And while you still had armor, it could help you with soaking up damage. But once you hit that 15,000 mark, all the DR was gone, and you cannot repair the armor mid-fight.
What's the negative of having armor? Because everybody would just get armor just to get extra.
Well, the heavier armor lowered your dodge. The lighter armor, every piece of armor actually had a downside. Heavy armor lowered your dodge. The lighter armor actually, I think it made you do less damage because it could get in the way easier. I couldn't remember their idea there.
It's just that trade-offs is the key. The key
really
item.
Heavy armor basically could not dodge with the heaviest armor, but it could soak up a ton of damage. You, at that point, you had convinced yourself you were going to get hit. You may as well deal with it.
So, like when you destroy armor, like at the end of the match, will that armor be repaired automatically?
Yeah,
or
automatically.
To buy
It's just
again?
like if you do something to your weapon in a fight, like use that shatter augment on it. Your weapon's fine the next fight. Your armor would be. But while you're in that fight, once your armor's gone, it's gone.
I mean, that's all it's always been, right? I mean, if the armor gets destroyed, how is it going to be repaired?
No, we never had destroyable armor.
We never had a way to target armor because no one actually cared enough to waste time targeting armor.
So this way, like I said, while you're being hit at first, the armor is losing HP before you are. Then once the armor's all out of HP, it's broken. You lose all the effects of the armor. And they don't have to specify I'm hitting your helmet. They just hit you when it's taking HP from your armor class.
Okay, just like a normal shooter game. Like if you have a shooter, like you get armor, it's a supplementary HP. So once the armor goes away, it starts attacking your actual HP. So yeah, I get it.
And you know what the worst? You know what the funny thing is? The whole reason why I want an armor system or a weapon system that isn't what it is currently is just so we can create unique items to give out to people in random plot events. That's what I want. You have no idea how long
Okay.
I've wanted to do that on NC.
Like a
see,
samurai.
Plot had that idea, but
Well, just like
Plot's not dead, and there's
yeah.
a good reason.
Well,
they're
okay.
not.
So, Jake, I wasn't implying plot write the items that were going to be given out. I was saying it would give us the opportunity to have create things that are approved for them to give out. For instance, but it's just the same thing. It's like an open world RPG where you suddenly come across somebody and you get a quest from that person by talking to them. Well, at the end of the road, by going through all this crazy shenanigans, you get rewarded a unique item because you're the only person that will ever do that mission. And that item is now yours. Like, and you will never see
We used to
another one
have
like it.
quests though, right? I'm sorry, but we used to have quests on NC, right? That.
I know there was talk about them. I don't think it ever got implemented.
It didn't.
Oh, really? Huh.
See, the big thing on those is everyone has to come together staff-wise. And Plot was never able to actually get all the villages on board because, oh no, we're doing this event. We're not going to take part in that.
Well, it's not relevant to a questing system, though, considering questing system's random. I mean, you just pick a thread.
Okay, the other problem with the questing system, again, Plot's not death. They would have tried to give out some really insane stuff.
Okay, again, trickle down, Jake. I'm not saying one team, because again, it's flawed if we're assuming every team is working individually. That's not how that would work at all. Every team should be working together in order to make it function
CJ,
at its end result.
CJ,
I know
there's a
NC,
big difference between should be and does.
Well, then we're doing a bad job, and we should probably enforce some things about that, huh? But more importantly, is
you're doing a bad job. I'm doing an awesome job.
Shut up, Jake.
Okay.
We're on the same team. We fail together, we win together. It's something like that.
No. I found the I in team. It's in the A-hole.
Ha, we all know that. Anyway, is that... I mean, it would be simple. It would be a simple enough thing to implement, right? And I mean, the questing system, not necessarily the rewards based off of it. Because all you would have to do is find a random topic, introduce an NPC, and then just a yes or no. If they say no, the NPC walks away, and that mission is gone to the wind. And it doesn't step on anyone's toes. It actually wouldn't require anyone else's. It wouldn't require a single council's approval, at all. Actually, it requires a single player's yes or no in order to participate, and that's it. So I mean, it's something that could be done. Anyway, I tangented. I apologize.
It's all good. It's all good. Well, let's see. Next 2 episodes. I was hoping that next week, or maybe a week after, we could have small episodes, like mini episodes, where we can discuss some builds, like a defensive build, or a build specifically for this specific bloodline, things like that. So that to help the users get an understanding. Like we have a lot of new players on the site nowadays, so I think it'll be beneficial for them to understand like how these builds work and stuff like that. So.
Oh, are we gonna have homework? Do all of us have to go create a build and then bring it to the podcast 2 weeks from now?
No. I mean, what we could do is utilize our guest stars to do that for us. I mean, they can create a build for us, and then we discuss that build and explain why. Or we shouldn't be doing it every week. I'm saying like.
Oh yeah, just for the next episode. Yeah, of course. I don't know because
Yeah.
because more importantly, I think it should be something not as commonly seen as like a general ninjutsu build or general genjutsu build or general taijutsu build. Something that is maybe it's a little off the beaten tracks, but it's still viable in what is in terms of the NC meta that would still be strong.
Yeah. Yeah. So maybe like I do want to have an opportunity to discuss about the battle system, but the whole podcast shouldn't always be about the battle system.
Oh yeah, of course. It's just that we have an interesting opportunity to actually go down the logistics of what it means to have a build on NC right now.
As much as I am loath to admit this, our battle system is a very big part of the game.
It is, but a lot of people don't.
And it's one of the most unique parts of the game.
That's debatable, yeah, but I mean, it's NC.
Get him out. a lot of sites have a battle system, but
Yes.
very few of them actually have a well-made one. And while our battle system does have a lot of flaws, it stood up for years.
And it is unique to NC.
Yeah. So, I mean, we have a very unique system that I have never seen a game that has an actual development team devoted to it that was not a professional thing.
Or, just someone reading from a D&D book and reskinning it.
Yeah, that's most games. I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna copy that.
Yeah, I guess that's not. I mean, I haven't been on a lot of RP sites in general, but a lot of RP sites don't have battle system in general, anyways. But
they use T2 or something like that. T1, T2, T3, something around there.
Yeah.
Which, don't get me wrong, I love T2. Love it to death.
RP battle in general, man.
Yeah. No. If you ever get in a sword fight with me on a game that uses T2 and goes by realistic sword fighting stuff, you're screwed. Okay. You may as well just kiss the dirt because you're going to be going down. So I love T2. But when it comes down to it, there is a reason we have a battle system. Because I'm good at T2. You might not be, but you might be, or who's going to judge whether or not it's right for me to kill you at this point? You can keep saying, no, I'm dodging. And finally, someone's going to step in and say, look, you don't dodge that. At which point, bias gets screened. So we have made a system that's based on numbers so that bias cannot be screened as loud. And I mean, sure, it's not the best system, but I have yet to see a better idea. Right. Because as long as we have conflict, we are going to need a system to determine the outcome of that conflict.
Which we talked about last episode.
Yeah, I know.
Well, yeah, that's what I think the battle system should be designed for, is to resolve conflicts that normal RPs can't do. I mean, I don't know how other RPs do it because, generally speaking, a lot of RPs, I don't know, I mean, generally, we're a game that's PvP, play versus play, but some RPs don't have PvP. They have mostly PvE, play versus enemy, so...
Yeah, but, I mean, at that point, how do you handle it if my character hates your character? With a passion. Conflict drives things.
I mean, yeah, it does.
So, and people don't get along. Eventually, even if we're on the same team, if we don't get along for long enough, I'm going to vent that anger on you somehow.
Yeah.
So, and again, that's why we have the battle system. So you can vent it, so you can get a good outcome instead of everyone just screaming, no, I hit you, no, I hit you. We're not a bunch of kids playing cops and robbers out on the playground. I shot you. No, I got magic armor. We have a system so you don't do that crap.
Yeah.
We all know that was you, Jake.
I was not the magic armor kid. I was the guy who was going around swinging a stick at people, calling it the Billy Club.
Yeah, I believe that too.
Dude, I was when I was 5 years old, I was a foot taller than everyone else and probably had a good 30 or 40 pounds on them. I've been a big Southern boy my whole life.
You sound like it.
I am. And ladies, I'm single.
Doesn't that say something about him?
So,
and guys, I'm single.
For the past month, I forgot we haven't done any shoutouts. So, I'd like to say that we have 7 new members to the site since May 20th.
Yes, we have actually gotten some people posting in help who are new, asking for help, and it is awesome.
So we have 3 Sandys and 5.
And if you need any help pronouncing those, let me know.
4 Cloud people. So that's great. We're growing slowly, I guess, but we always lose some curious players as well. So
let me grab a link real fast. There is a announcement in the announcements area. I would love it if everyone would go and look at it. Hang on, let me pull it up.
Oh, yeah,
it's just labeled "Vote for Us."
Yeah.
Let me put the link here. Go there, open that link, and vote for us. We have officially joined toprpsites.com. Let me vote real quick too. There we go. I'm not sure where we're at on the rankings here. I know we were on page 3 the other day.
Seems like we're on.
We might be on page 2 by now.
Yeah, we're number 11 now. So
We're number 11.